An Arkansas judge ruled high school teachers cannot be disciplined or prevented from teaching topics regarding critical race theory. The Republican-led Arkansas legislature passed the Literacy, Empowerment, Accountability, Readiness, Networking, and School Safety Act, long-ass title, known as LEARNS Act. The law will prohibit public schools from teaching diversity, equity, and inclusion and critical race theory. Joining us is David Hinojosa, Director of the Educational Opportunities Product of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law. So, David, okay, so they passed this. What now?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
What now? They passed it. What now?
Yeah, they passed the LEARNS Act, and teachers and students, brave teachers and students, stood up against the great state of Arkansas to slap that law back down and put the state back in its place. The state said, you can't teach CRT, you can't teach related ideologies in classrooms because that's a form of indoctrination. And the court, and it was a federal court that we were in front of, on a motion for preliminary injunction just last week, issued its decision today, finding that he was going to partially enjoin this state law, this certain provision of the LEARNS Act, and allow teachers to go back to doing the great, honest, and accurate teaching that they have, both of past and present day discrimination, among so many other topics that students deserve to be taught about, but were prohibited because of this terrible law.
So how much of the law gets invalidated? Or is it all of it or parts of it?
So here's what's interesting about this law and you know, the case. So just last fall, the state said, well, under this law, we have to stop indoctrination and CRT. And we see the AP African American Studies course, which is in its second year of being a pilot course, you know, across the country. And they say, well, we're going to de-designate this as an AP course because we think that some of these topics like resistance and resilience and intersection and identity run afoul of this, and we need to further investigate this, right? Fast forward now to after the students and teachers and the Arkansas State Conference of the NAACP have filed a lawsuit and then moved for a preliminary injunction. Now, all of a sudden, the state starts walking back this law. The whole thrust of the law that was supposed to stop CRT, was supposed to stop woke ideology, according to Governor Sanders and Secretary of Education Jacob Oliva. Now, all of a sudden, they're filing court papers saying this does not stop CRT discussions in classrooms. If you're just discussing it as an idea, as a framework, that's fine. You just can't indoctrinate students. So we now have the state of Arkansas on the record and as part of the court's own order stating specifically that, yes, teachers can teach CRT and related ideologies so long as they're not indoctrinating them. And that goes for all different types of ideologies, not just, you know, frameworks. So it has extremely narrowed the scope of this law, and again, you know, provided, you know, much needed comfort by teachers like Mr. Gilbert and Ms. Walls, who we represent in this case, who really want to dig deeper into many of these issues that, again, you know, students deserve the right to know and learn all of this information and ideas, whether it's bad or good. You know, let them digest that and build their own perspectives out of it.
What could be the excuse me, what could be the impact of this decision by this federal judge on other lawsuits across the country?
Well, the court came down very strongly in favor of students' right to receive information and ideas. So we represent a couple of individual students, Sadie Bell and Giselle, who have put their names on this lawsuit, as well as student members of the Arkansas State Conference. And it's a very strong, powerful ruling that says, yes, students have a First Amendment right to receive the information and ideas that the states like Arkansas have essentially marshaled forward this law through purely ideological and politically based reasons, not connected to education. And that sets a very strong precedent that potentially, you know, other federal courts, including our court in the state of Oklahoma, where we have another case where we represent the Oklahoma State Conference of the NAACP, the American Indian Movement, and others challenging that state's laws. But I think that that's a very powerful ruling, again, coming from this judge towards the tail end of the school year, that wasn't going to stand for the state trying to filter and censor critical discussions in the classroom that it disagreed with.
Last question, does Arkansas plan to appeal this decision?
Yeah, I don't know. They put out a statement today saying that they're glad, that the court issued a very narrow injunction in this case, applying to only 2 students, although, again, all teachers are free to teach CRT and related ideologies. You would not think that they would want to appeal that particular decision. They'll probably be moving forward for motions to dismiss. But frankly, we feel the one thing that they need to do is get the word out to its teachers all across the state about how narrow this law really means, because all we have is the hot air rhetoric from Governor Sanders and others in state leadership saying what this law meant prior to these lawsuits. We now need them to correct themselves on the record.
All right, then. David Hinojosa, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media for the creator economy. This next generation social media app with over 600,000 users is raising $17 million, and now is your chance to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.